All right, so we're on tonight. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We have an amazing special guest. Well, she's my level one, Chrissy Kressler. I'm so excited to have this call tonight. If you don't know, I'm Angie Newman. I'm a Gold Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And again, I am so excited to welcome Chrissy Kressler tonight to speak on how to be an organized leader. Chrissy and I actually grew up together. I've known her since I was probably in kindergarten. We were neighborhood friends, and then we went to school together as well. She started her Plexus journey in December of 2015, and literally from the point where she decided to pour her heart into Plexus is where her business grew. She just poured her heart into it, and she has just done an amazing job helping others to increase, the benefits of their health and just love Plexus. So I'm going to go ahead and give it over to Chrissy, and she is going to give us some amazing tips and whatever on Plexus. Sorry about that. Lots of words. Sorry. Go ahead,
Thank
Chrissy.
you. All right. Thanks, Ange. Thank you so much. Guys, I am humbled to be on here tonight. You have no idea. I just told a couple of the girls before most of you hopped on, I just prayed over tonight. I prayed that God would put the words into my mouth to tell somebody something tonight that they could take away from this, that they could make their business explode. It's really important to me that I can kind of come across to you guys and let you know that this has been probably, I don't even know how to say this, but Plexus has literally changed my life and in my health, in my family, in my finances. They always talk about the, 4 or 5 F's, whichever book you've read before, and it's huge. It really is. And I'm just going to share with you guys tonight some things that when I decided to start, like Angie said, I joined Plexus in December of 2015, literally to get my baby weight off. I just had a baby in October. I'm getting a little older in age, so I thought, really need something. And Angie was sharing Plexus, and I'm like, I'm going to get a hold of her. And I'm so glad I did. I really just wanted to start out with wholesale products. I didn't want to share Plexus. I was kind of like, I just really need to get this weight off. I need to get healthy, get my digestive issues in control. And next thing you knew, I was falling in love with these products. And when I started falling in love with these products, I realized there was something that I needed to start doing if I was going to start sharing these things. And I'm just going to hit on my journey so far so that you guys can understand how I became where I'm at now organized. So I did not start out, when I start talking about some in-depth organization, I did not start out there. So if you are new here tonight and you're joining in, just know that you can start out simple too. It just takes a little bit of time out of your day, not much, while you're reaching out to people to just jot some things down. So that's kind of just where I want to start. I'm going to show you guys this. How many of you all have notebooks? Maybe have notebooks? You guys can raise your hands if I can see you. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. This was my first little notebook that I started out in. And when I really started this process of sharing was like in January. And we had that big snowstorm in Pennsylvania. And some of the East Coast people will understand what I'm talking about. And I started reaching out to people and decided that I was going to go sober. And through this process, I started taking this little notebook, and every time I reached out to somebody, I started taking notes. And it became this little thing that I just carried around with me, and I had it available anytime somebody reached out to me. I'm a very organized person. When I say that, you're going to understand why in these next couple of things I'm going to tell you. I have 6 children. So if I don't have organization in my life, I probably would lose my mind. So I have a calendar, and I have my kids' things wrote in it, and the things that I need to be at my mother's salon, and just stuff that I need to do in my daily routine. So for me to be able to say I'm going to share Plexus was important for me to have this little notebook so that I didn't forget somebody or so I didn't miss something. So that's kind of just where I want to start with you guys. I literally just wrote down hey, I talked to so-and-so today, and when I talked to them, just basic little things like that. And then I started deciding, okay, this is going to start to be something that I'm going to do on a daily basis. Another part that was really important to me was putting my goal setting things down too. So what I started to do is I started to write down some of my daily habits, things that I wanted to do throughout my day to get my business to weekly. And are we good, Ange? Are you there?
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear Rachel. Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, we're good?
I can hear you.
All right, excellent. My little like mute thing kept going on and off, so I wasn't sure. Okay, so basically I decided that I was going to track my goals. Why? Because I decided at one point, I looked at Angie and I said, listen, my goal is a certain amount of money that I think that I could achieve with Plexus, and that's all I'm going to do. And that's what I told her. And as now I've developed, I have changed that, obviously, because I'm so super excited with this journey and what I'm seeing for myself and helping other people. But I decided to write down these things. So I decided that there were going to be daily habits that I chose to do. And I checked marked them at the beginning because I needed to create habits for them. Now, once they created a habit, it's just like this now, that I know what I'm doing every day. At certain times of the day, it might change. I've got kids. Things happen. It's life. It's totally okay to know that as long as you're trying to get those things done, that's the most important part. So through this whole process, this little notebook became this notebook. So it got a little bit bigger because obviously I was sharing Plexus more with people and more notes that I needed to put in there. So I'm going to go through just a little bit of my process of how I do things, because I think that's really what is key here through this is you guys want to know what I'm doing. And I just want to let you guys know that I'm no different than each one of you guys on this call. I just decided for myself that I needed this way of tracking, and it worked for me. So I'm sharing with you guys things that are working for me. And if you can just take a nugget away from it, that's going to be something that I'm going to say, okay, great, I've done my job tonight. So I watched a few training videos. I've watched a lot of training videos, to say the least, but I love them. And I don't forget too, through this process, training videos are great, but you also need motivational things. So go to the Diamond documentaries and listen up on those and watch them and hear about the amazing people in Plexus, because those videos are going to be what drives you whenever you get a little bit frustrated through this process, which it can be frustrating at times. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't get frustrated. I'm human. I get frustrated too, because I can see how awesome these products are and I know what they can do for people. And when a person's not ready, I'm kind of like, what's going on? You have no idea how amazing you're going to feel. But keep those Diamond documentaries open and go to them when you need them. Okay, so back on task here. I decided to watch a few training videos in regards to following up with people, because I know that success is in the follow-up. That is really, really, really vital. So through these videos, I started learning a couple key important things. Now, in our day and age that we live in, social media is huge, okay? Face-to-face doesn't happen as often. It is really, our lifestyles are these, we have our phones, we have our iPads, we have our, computers. We are messaging people constantly. But how do we put the personal side of things back into this? So through some of these videos that I've watched, I realized that there was something that these people were doing that was making utilizing social media a little easier, number one, more time effective, number two, and believe me, with 6 kids, I need more time effective things. And it was working. And these people were saying it was working. So I knew that for me, I was like, I'm gonna utilize it too. So I'm going to, if you guys, I don't know if you have Facebook Messenger, if you utilize that when you're getting a hold of your people and potentials or following up, but there's a little feature in your Messenger that is a voice recorder. And it literally will record 1 minute, only 1 minute at a time of your voice. And Angie is laughing right now because I'm a very winded person and I have to be careful when I get on there because I will send like 5 messages and she'll have to like push them and play them. But anyway, so this little voice messenger though is huge because I personally feel like when you send a message to somebody to follow up with them and you're typing something, it is so easy to take what somebody has typed and misread what they're saying. And for me, I decided that my voice is the best thing that I can have somebody hear because if I'm on social media, obviously if I can do face-to-face, I'm going to do it. If I can get on a phone, I'm going to do it because I know the value in that. But once again, utilizing the tools that we have and making the most of it. So they can hear, number one, with this voice memo, the sincerity in my voice and the excitement in my voice. That is huge. Okay. So I'm letting you guys know if you're not using it, if you have used it, start using it more. It really is going to also save you time because typing things out is ridiculous, I personally think. Now, there are times when you have to, but I really do utilize this voice messenger when it comes to following up with people. I'm gonna tell you, like emoticons are great, if that's even how you say it. That's terrible. You can tell my age. My kids know more than I do. But anyway, they're great, and they might show an awesome smiley face, but nothing beats the personalization of your voice to somebody, okay? So that's something that I really want to share with you guys. Okay, so here's a little tidbit of information of what I did, and I'm just going to go back to my last week because it's more fresh in my head, and I can explain what I did. I know my stats this past week, but this is a really good place for you guys to understand what I'm doing. And these are the really nuts and bolts and things of what I'm doing. Like I'm getting down to the nitty gritty. Remember, if you are new, this is not something that might happen overnight. Okay. So don't put these two things together. Don't get overwhelmed by this. This is just what I'm doing at this current time to take me where I am currently and beyond. Okay. So here we go. This is my day. Mondays are a huge day for me with Plexus. I am reaching out to people constantly, okay? I take notes. Once again, these are my current binders. Yes, Angie, there's another one today because this one kept falling apart and pages were coming out of it. So I had to get another one to put stuff in. Anyway, so this is really important to me. So what I do is all of this one in here has all of my ambassadors and it has all of my preferred customers and all of my retail customers organized alphabetically. Yes, alphabetically, because through here, it's okay. When I started, my first page was my first person who reached out to me. Oh, hey, so-and-so, great. Oh, I talked to him this day. I talked to him about this and that. And I'm going to explain how I kind of asked them things too. But, you know, it wasn't in alphabetical order. This wasn't either. I would flip through pages and pages till I found somebody. It's okay. Fall in love with this process, guys, because this is like ultimately when we look back on these moments, when we are jewels, we're all jewels, we're going to be like, oh my gosh, look how we used to like systematically like, you know, look at our customers. But anyway, so these are alphabetical order, okay? And then I take Monday through Friday and I block out at least 4 days that I'm doing complete follow-ups with, whether it's potentials, ambassadors, preferreds, or retails, however it is. And I'll kind of explain a little bit more a couple of minutes from now in regards to that. But here's kind of what I did. I voice messaged 2 Mondays ago, 65 people. Now, some of those people were not all new. They were what I call my fence sitters, which Angie and I talk about fence sitters a lot. You're going to have a lot of them. Don't get frustrated through the process of fence sitters because I will tell you, some of my fence sitters just came off the fence like 2 weeks ago, last week. It will happen. You consistently keep sharing Plexus, sharing your post, getting excited about Plexus on Facebook, letting your family be involved with Plexus. If you have kids, like you ask my kids, they will tell you, my mom shares Plexus with people. We take our Plexus vitamins. My other one knows, they always say, oh, Mom, when are you going Ruby? Hey, are you closer to Ruby today? Because they know they're getting dirt bikes when I go Ruby. So they're all excited, okay? So they always ask me, are you closer to that Ruby goal yet? Like, no, honey, we're on our way to gold. Just, we got to take our time here. But anyway, so just fall in love with that process. So these were fence sitters, some new people, and a couple of ones that I've been just really talking to through the last couple of weeks, which I guess you would call them fence sitters, but they were more involved. Like, you're going to have people that are really involved that keep messaging you back and talk to you. And then you're going to have ones that are going to say, oh, yeah, I'm interested. And then you don't hear from them at all. You feel like you have to reach out to them more constantly. But remember, the success is in the follow-up. And we all know the statistics. I mean, Angie has taught on this before. The statistics are you have to reach out 5 to 12 times to somebody before they actually will come aboard or start at some point, whether it's retail preferred or go straight to wholesale. So I reached out to these 65 people. Now you're probably saying, what did you say to them? What are you doing? Okay, great question, guys. I'm just joking. Anyway, so this is what I said. Every person obviously means something to me. And that's another thing. I'm very, how do I say this? Building relationships is really important to me. I am an extrovert. I am, if you know anything about personality profiles, I am more, I've changed over my life, but I'm more of a, I would say, go-getter with always liking to be around people, a people person, and goal-oriented, so a driven person. But there are some people who aren't, and that's okay. Facebook is good for this, the messenger, because if you aren't that kind of person, it's okay, because you don't have to have that odd, tense interaction at first. You know, if you're new, you can utilize this and practice what you're going to say, and then just message them. Or even don't practice what you're going to say. Just do it is, I guess, my biggest thing. Just get out of your comfort zone a little bit and say, I'm going to just message a few people today like this and see what happens. Because I guarantee you those messages are personally through that voice messenger are going to get you better results than sending them a message. I guarantee it. So anyway, here we go. One of these person, let's just say I talked to the one lady, and I knew last week her child was sick because I saw on Facebook. So I said, hey, so-and-so, this is Chrissy. Hey, how are you doing today? Wanted to see how your little boy is feeling. I saw that he was really sick. I hope that he's doing well. I hope the family as well. I know we were talking about Plexus the other week, and I just wanted to touch base with you again. At that point, guys, we were really running that 15% off sale. So that was huge to me. I wanted to make sure that people could get these products in their hands and get it at the best price, because we all know the importance of that. So I basically just said, hey, wanted to let you know that this sale is going to be over on the 15th. We've talked about your goals of, getting your weight off and getting healthy. We've talked about, hunger control, things like that. And I would hate for you to miss out on this. So, and I basically went back to them and what they told me prior, and that was that person in particular. And I basically just said, hey, listen, I'm not here. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you towards your health goals however I can. So you let me know where you're at. This is only good till the 15th. Basically, I'm just looking for a yes or no. And I can absolutely help you towards your health goals. I work with my customers hand in hand, and I would love to help you. I would love to take this Plexus journey with you so that you can achieve these goals. So something kind of just like that is what I did to each one of these people. Now you say 65 people. Yeah, 65 people, around 30 seconds to a minute is what I sent them. So yes, it took me some time, in between the baby and things, but I got it done. And these are my results. Now you might look at my results and say, oh, 18 people responded. Okay, 18 people, guys. You're thinking, oh, that's not good. That's not a lot of people. Well, and you know how you can tell in Facebook Messenger people read your messages. Let me tell you another little tidbit quick on this. Just because they read it does not mean they are not interested, because people have lives. People have things going on. People are busy. I actually, a huge example is another team member of mine. We were talking and she couldn't get a hold of somebody. And I kept saying, it's okay. I'll see her and maybe I'll mention it to her. And I did. And here to find out she was so super busy and has so much going on with health issues and a lot she's doctoring with, and she hasn't been to the doctors yet. She has been working like 16-hour days, literally. So she just hadn't had time to reach back out. So don't think that those people are not potentials anymore just because they read your message and they didn't get back to you. Give it time. Keep following up is what I'm trying to say. So 18 people responded. Out of those 18 people, guys, 10 people were ready to go. 10 people out of 18 were ready to go. That's more than 50%. That's huge. Then another referral came out of that, plus a level 2 came out of that. And then when you look at my numbers, because I break things down, I track through my Sunday Reflect how many ambassadors joined, how many preferred, and how many retails. That's just where I'm at this point of my business. Out of those 10 that said they were ready to go, 7 joined. Now, that is amazing. Like, those numbers are awesome. And those were all because I sent personalized voice messages through Facebook. Now, those 7 that joined, I was on the phone, I should have wrote this down, with the majority of them, helping them, answering a couple more questions, and getting their orders in. Another thing that I think is huge, one thing that we have to understand, if we're busy, we know we're busy, right? We all have lives. Shake heads. Everybody with me? Yes, we all have things going on. So do all of our potentials. So do all of our fence sitters that we've been so wanting to get off the fence. If you know that you're busy and they're busy too, you have to remember one thing. When you have them and you have their attention, that's the time to act, and that's the time to get them joining and get them signed up. So help them through the process. Don't just throw out your website to them. Don't just say, hey, there's where you can go to get started. If you need any help, let me know. I mean, you can do that. I do that sometimes, but you know the people, if that person's going to need a little bit more help. Be more personalized with it. Get on the phone, get to know them a little bit more, talk to them, make sure they understand. Another thing that I do when I get somebody started is I make sure that they understand exactly what is happening. Celeste put a great video out not long ago about making sure that you're not just letting people go, or I think it was Celeste. I get them kind of mixed up. Somebody put a video out that said, don't forget about your people, and explaining their reorders and their back orders and all of that stuff, because that's huge. And that's important to our Plexus as a whole, and the way we come across out there in the direct sales business world. So that's something that I want to make sure that you guys understand, that I also walk through everything, making sure that they understand what they're doing whenever they're joining as an ambassador, that their fee is renewal every year, explaining. I tell people, listen, if you're not going to give Plexus 60 days consistently, and I mean consistently, letting me help you through the process and doing this correctly before you make a yes or no decision. If you're not going to give it that before you make a yes or no, then you shouldn't be getting yourself started, because we all know that consistency is the key to the products. And I want them to know that I'm already setting them up to understand that they're getting their order, their welcome pack, and then they're going to be getting their next order, because they need to be consistent. And then at that time, if they're like, nope, and they want to shut their stuff off, or they want to change stuff, or however, then I will help them through that process. But I haven't had people going through that, these new people I have, with wanting after 1 month to be done. Because they already know that Plexus is not a fad diet. It's not a fast pace way to get your health back. You're not going to all of a sudden be healthy. It takes time. It took us this long to get our bodies this way. It's going to take how long to get our bodies healthy? So Okay, I'm going to get back on track because I know that I don't want to be too lengthy, but this is a lot of great information. Sorry. Okay. Let me just look at my notes real quick so that I can keep on task. Another thing I want you guys to know that one, I talk about how I'm organizing things and whatnot. You've got, I shared a little bit about that. Like I said, my people are organized alphabetically and in different sections. And then also this notebook here has where my goal setting is, where my follow-ups are, and then I section out my follow-ups and all my potentials. So I have alphabetically ordered my potentials, and then I go through and have a follow-up. So like tomorrow, I already have things wrote down for Monday that need to be done. Now I have some for Tuesday, but I don't fill in sometimes my next days because I don't know how my Monday's going to work out. So just remember that things are going to change through your process too. Also, another thing that I do, if you guys have teams of people that you're starting to work with, I do break out all my ambassadors from when they joined and when their back orders are. And obviously we have an amazing back office, so you can go on there and check your detailed genealogy and go through and figure out that. And somebody changes it up, and you're going to know how to reach out to them. You're going to know what you need to get a hold of them. Be very personalized with that too, guys. If somebody is switching their back orders off and whatnot, help them through that. Help them to understand what's happening. Let them know how amazing it is, and walk them through kind of like what they're doing. That's another thing, because we want to get people started and we want to get people joining, but we also want to keep these people. We don't want to just sign people up. We want to have people on Plexus for life. We all are. So we want other people to be the same way too. So I break down my goal setting like that also. And I can go in, if you have questions later at the end, I'll do real quick questions, so I can go into that if you'd like. But one thing I want you guys to know, it's okay to start out small. You don't have to be, like I said, this organized. You can just start out. If you don't have yourself a notebook, go get yourself one tomorrow. Just start out small. If you haven't wrote down everything from the past and you've been sharing, it's okay. Just start where you are today, because where you start today is how you're going to know that what's happening with your business from here on out. I decided personally that that Plexus was something that I wanted to do full time. Like I have just to tell you a little quick bit, yes, I have 6 kids. My mother owns a salon where it's traditional tanning, but we added spray tanning and body wraps. So I'm a technician there, and I work there 2 days a week. And with all the kids and everything, but I've decided that Plexus is what I'm doing. So that's why I'm treating it as such, if that makes sense to you guys. But don't compare yourself to other people's businesses. That's another huge thing. I was just listening to an Emily Roberts training video, and she was talking about not comparing yourself to other people's businesses, because this is all a journey. We're all on a journey. Each one of us have something amazing to offer this team, to offer people out there. And getting them healthy, which is, what we're all about. But remember that if you compare yourself, it's going to set you up for failure, because you're going to look at yourself and you're going to say, well, why can't I be like that? And why is this not happening for me? Remember that for me, this is how I believe, but it's all in God's timing. God has a perfect plan for us, and it's in his timing, but you have to put the work into it too. He's not just going to hand it over. So that's something that I just wanted to share from my heart. Another thing that's really important, back to topic real quick, is ask for the sale, guys. Don't be afraid to ask somebody yes or no if they're ready to get started. Hey, so I know you've looked all over the material that I sent you, which again, guys, once again, I'm simple. I have notes on my phone because I have an iPhone, and in my notes section, and I've shared this with Rachel before, and I think she put it on the page. There are a couple of things that I share, and to this day, I still share that same information on Triplex and the videos that I share. I'm systematic with how I do things, and it's working. So I'm not going to change it up. Now, if there's a specific testimony that I'm looking for, I'll research it and I'll send it out if there's something specific. But I have the same copy-paste system that I send new people when I'm giving them information. So that's another thing. But don't be afraid to ask for the sale. Ask for a yes or no. At some point, here's another thing that I just wanted to hit on, because we were talking about follow-up is really key. and you have to be persistent with your following up, but not overwhelming. So I'm not out to bug these people every day. You might have experienced, and if you all have, shake your head. Have you experienced somebody who sells something through a direct sales company that will bother you every day to buy something? Yes or no? Shake your heads if you have. Okay. We don't want to be those people, okay? We don't want to be out there just bugging a person because they're not getting back in touch with us. Know your timeline. Know when to get a hold of somebody. Know how to ask things. So for me, Mondays, like I said, are an important day. If I'm communicating with people, yes, I'm going to get a hold of them weekly. If I have a fence sitter, I'm getting a hold of them weekly. If they're responding back to me, they are getting a message from me. When they tell me that they don't want to hear from me anymore, then that's okay. Then I'm not at that point going to message them. But I do say this. Hey, listen, I know you said that money is not really good right now. I know things are tight at home. And I completely understand where you're coming from. With 6 kids, like, we have a budget too. And I know how that can be. Right there, spill, felt, found method. If you didn't catch on to that, which that's really awesome too. It really works. But hey, I just wanted to ask you a question. Do you mind that if we're offering another special through Plexus, or a really good deal comes up where you could save some money, would you mind me reaching back out to you? And more times than enough, they're not gonna say, oh no, I don't want to hear from you anymore. They're gonna say, absolutely, yes, absolutely, get back in touch with me and let me know if there's something else coming up. I really want to, I just don't have the money right now. And so that's your opportunity to make a note by their name in your book, with the date that you did that, and saying, hey, Susie said that I can get back with her next month, and check in again whenever we have a special or whatnot. So make those notes. It will really help you, because when you're going back through your files, you're going to say, oh, guess what? On Mondays, that's what I do. I go back through, or Sunday nights, however it works, go back through. Oh yeah, remember Susie said I could get back in touch with her. It's May's coming, soon. So, and just make notes of that, guys. It really will help you through this process, especially when you get more than 10 customers that you're working with. It really, really, really will help to keep your mind centered, because that's another thing. You don't want to get so frustrated that you don't know who you've messaged, who you haven't. Yes, you can go back through your messenger if you're using that a lot, but it's still hard to do that, and it takes time. So just leverage the time that you have. And another thing too is people love to talk about themselves. People do. It's okay. Just remember that when you're going through this process, to listen to what they're saying, so that you can hear what specifically their goals are, because that's a huge thing. I always ask them, hey, I know you want some information on Plexus, and I know we've talked about it, but I really need to know some of your health goals so that I can better tell you about the products that Plexus has, and then I will share that information with you. So what are some of the health goals that you're looking to achieve if you were to start Plexus? And that's another key thing that I ask. And once again, be very personal. Don't just start messaging about Plexus stuff, and ask them about them. See how they're doing. Talk a little bit about their family. Get to know them. Facebook's awesome, guys. You can find a person you've never even known, and you can go through their Facebook, obviously, and I hate to say the word stalk it, but you can look a little bit and see that they have kids and how old their kids are and what they're involved in, and mention those things. That's totally okay. You're friends with them on Facebook, so absolutely you can do that. We talked about the fill, felt, found method. Another thing that I just want to tell you guys too, if you don't know about personalities and know how to read somebody's personality, and you're looking for something to help yourself out in your Plexus business, get your hands on a book about that. I was actually talking to Rachel. She messaged me earlier today. I was saying something to her about that, and we just briefly were talking on it, but it made me think that because I know some stuff about that, that's what really does help me when I reach out to people, like understanding who that person is if you already know them. Because some of us are still working off our friends and family list, yes? Or some of us still working off that basic list there? If you are, then you want to make sure that you understand things about them so you know how to ask certain questions and whatnot, and become relatable, basically, through all this. Remember that, this is something that I learned a long time ago in a book, and I know this sounds kind of funny and it might take some of you off guard, but I use it a lot when you're face to face with people. I did an event and I signed one ambassador at that event, a preferred and a retail. And, you know, it was a good event. I thought that was a great day. This is really an important key, but in closing sales, and we were talking about sales, the first person to talk loses. And I know that you might be thinking, well, what does that mean? The person, if you're talking about something and you've put the ball in their court to say, hey, so are you ready to get started with Plexus? And you've asked that question that requires a yes or no, don't say anything. Let them think about it. Let them be the one to come back to you and say something. Because more times than enough, if you just believe in yourself and feel confident in yourself, you're going to get the answer that you're wanting. Because we all know that people that you're talking to about it really want to get started, that you just have to help them overcome their objections. That's all. That's really all this is about. So another thing too that you guys, we were all talking about is becoming, like on this topic or on this call tonight, is about becoming a leader. And because this is about, what was it called? Like being an organized leader, right? Was the topic of tonight. So becoming a leader, and what does that mean for yourself? But remember, it starts with you. So becoming a leader starts with yourself, and it's about what are you doing in your daily routine? What are those things? And if you just jot a couple of things down tonight, that's great. It's a place to start. Are you watching training videos? Do you know where to find training videos? YouTube is amazing. You can start, if you have a YouTube account, or if you don't, I highly suggest you get one so that you can go on there and like and subscribe to certain of the Plexus Diamonds YouTube pages. And it's awesome because you can just get all kinds of updated videos to watch. You know, I try to keep up with them, but there's still a lot, and I know which ones I'm going to go back to. Check your team pages. Team pages are huge, guys. There's all kinds of amazing information on there. Reach out to your potentials. Follow up. Like these things, make a list Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and right underneath, hey, I need to follow up with Jack today. I need to follow up with, hey, Katie started taking her products, the other day. I should check in on her and see how she's doing. Is she drinking enough water? Those type of things. And also another big thing for me personally is, do you read daily? Now, a lot of people, when you talk about reading, they'll say, well, I hear a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't like to read. I'm like, really? You don't like to read? But that's just me personally. And I think that it's just learned. It takes time to learn a new habit. So even if you start with just a couple minutes a day could add up to be 30 minutes a day at some point. But reading daily for myself is really huge because I know what information I need to gain from things, or I know that if I do these certain daily things, that it's going to help me become a better person. Because as I start helping more people get healthy and whatnot, I need to know more information. So those are a couple of things that I think are huge. And I take notes on what I read too, personally. Because that's for my brain, like, and how I can take things in. So once again, like, I'm not perfect, guys. I just know that I'm passionate about Plexus. I found a place where I know that God has wanted me to be, and I asked him for many years where it was, and here it is, which to me, I'm going to start getting emotional, is really important, and it's really been a blessing. So I just want to let you guys know that not everybody is the same. Nobody's perfect, but you guys can each start somewhere with little pieces of your daily routine and really take this business to a whole nother level. Believe in yourself, guys. You can do this. I always say a no is just a yes later. So if somebody's going to tell you no, don't let it get you down. Try not to. Try to take that no as actually a good thing, because you know that you're out there putting yourself out there every day sharing Plexus. That's huge, guys. And also, don't get frustrated with building your business, even though it can be easy to fall in love, or it can be easy through that process. Just fall in love with that frustration or the process of building your business, because in the long run, when you look back, it's going to be the journey that's just going to kind of make you say, wow, I'm really glad that I pushed through that, and that I didn't let that frustration or that person who shut their back order off frustrate me, or the person who told me no 10 times frustrate me. Hey, some of those people say no 10 times end up joining later. We hear all kinds of that on training calls. And we are each going to have amazing stories throughout this process. And that's what's super exciting about that. Another thing that I want to hit on too is utilizing your upline, your sponsors, any of those support people that are available. Ask them if you need help. If you're trying to get somebody new started and you just don't know where to go. I utilize Angie a lot. I try to do a lot of my own work because that's really important to me being a successful leader in this business and helping my people. But if I don't know something, I'm not going to try to figure it out. If I'm stumped, I'm gonna take my time, leverage it, say, hey, when you have a chance, do you think we could chat about something? Because I'm a little stuck on this. I don't know where to find this. And she is there for me. Absolutely. Leverage those people so that they can help you, and encourage other people. That's another thing that's really huge. As a whole, looking at Plexus and where we are as an organization, the excitement level, if we just share that with people, do you understand the power of excitement? People want to be a part of something that is huge, guys. People want to follow people that know where they're going. And if you just breathe that out and even post that kind of stuff on your Facebook page, the excitement that you have about getting healthy, even just something as simple like just sharing that part about how excited you are about being healthy, that's going to spark people's interest. It really is, guys. And know that, how do I want to say this? Each one of you have so much to offer. And you might think to yourself, well, I don't know what it is. I don't know even where to find that. Like, it's going to come out and you're going to find it through Plexus. I know it through this process and through building your business. There's going to be something that all of a sudden is just going to click. And when it clicks is whenever you're going to know, hey, I've got my hands on something amazing and I'm going to take this as far as I can and I'm going to share it and help people. When you get a testimony from somebody that says, hey, I got to tell you, I haven't slept in years. And now I'm sleeping all night like a baby. Do you know, like, for me, when I hear that, I'm like, holy cats. Like, I know what it's like, to have a night without sleep, obviously, because it's just a baby. But I'm saying, like, people who really struggle with things. A lady who has just, I can't say a lot of, things on here because of compliance. But I'm just saying, just know, guys, that what you're doing is amazing and sharing this. So don't be hesitant, get out there and do it. We are one Plexus, guys, which is super awesome. And I can't be thankful enough that Angie, once again, asked me to do this tonight. I am going to really quick just let you guys know if you have some questions, I would be happy to answer in regards to my follow-up process or anything that I might not have went over because I get so excited about this. So I feel like I might have missed some pieces, but if you have a question, if you want to take yourself off mute, I guess, if that's okay, Angie, or I don't know how you want to do that, but I just want to open this up to you guys if you want to know a detail about something I do or have a question.
And I guess I can just hit on what Chrissy said, and I love examples. That I'm all about examples. So Chrissy, at one point in her journey, messaged me and said, I'm going silver this weekend. And to that point, she sent me a photo that said on her mirror, I'm going silver this weekend. Literally, the photo said on her mirror, I'm going silver this weekend. Lo and behold, the power of belief, she went silver that weekend. And I just want to point that out to you because that really is just the power of belief. She believed in herself to the point where she wrote it on her mirror and she sent it to me and she posted it on the team page. Okay? She went silver that weekend. Another thing I just want to post out or say, I was struggling with my own business and I said, Chrissy, what are you doing? I know you told me that you messaged 65 people in one day. Can you give me a tip? What did you do? She simply just said, I sent out 65 personal video voice messages to people, and that's what worked. So, okay, well, let me try it. So I personally sent out 3 video messages to 3 people, only 3. And I signed someone that day. So I just want to say that, okay? She's been a huge inspiration to me and my team. So I want to go ahead and open this up tonight.
Hey, real quick.
Questions.
You just said about what I put up, and I have to show you guys. Oh, it's upside down. But this is my poster because obviously my next goal is gold, and there is a date on that if you guys can see it, and it's weighted out. You're right, it is. You know why? Because I didn't hit it last month, and that's okay. You know why? Because I was reaching really far last month to try to do that. But guess what? I set myself up for success because of all the hard work I put in for this month. So I'm, obviously I'm doing as much as I can, and I'm not stopping. So I'm just letting you guys know that. And there's little scratch notes like needed, how many I had. Like, I'm serious. Like, this is just a piece of cardboard. My kids had it. You know what it's from the back of? It's the back of one of their coloring big books. I just took it and I used it because I just know that I need that at my desk because I have to visually see things in front of me. So that's what Angie was talking about. So I just want to share that, guys, with you. So you can think it's silly if you want, but for me, it's what I need. It's what I need to push me every day.
Any questions, y'all? Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and close up tonight. Chrissy, I want to thank you so much for all of your tips.
Who's that, Mama?
Huh?
Who is that?
Hi, Aiden.
I have a cheesesteak.
Thank you, Chrissy.
You're welcome.
I think that's Chet.
Hi, Chet.
Hang on. Now I can hear you.
That is so dear. Can I have a cheesesteak?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right, Rachel. Anyway, just thank you so much, Chrissy, for all of your inspiration, your tips, you're just amazing. You're just amazing on video, and I just thank you so much for all of your help to all of us on here tonight. You've been a lot of help. Thank you.
You're welcome, guys.
My dog.
If you guys need anything or have any questions, you can even message me personally if you want. If you just don't want to voice message it or be on here live, that's totally fine. I understand. But I'm available to you guys if you want. So just letting you know. And thank you each and every one of you for being a part of tonight. It means a lot. I prayed long and hard about tonight. So I hope that you guys got to take something away from it.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, guys.